It's time for you to get up. You will win. It's time for you to reactivate your finances, your health. Are you ready to get your life? Well, this is your moment. Ready to get your life back on track? Get up. What are you doing? It's your time to reactivate.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Listen, I'm glad to be here tonight. Thank you, and welcome to Reactivate the Moment. I'm Marques Ford, and I'm here rather, to encourage, empower, and to push you to be your better self. And without further ado, listen, let's get right into it. I have a word for you today, and today it just simply says this: you can't rush God's timing, because if you do, you'll ruin the outcome. I'll say it again. You cannot rush God's timing, because if you do, you will ruin the outcome. See, what I've noticed about us is that sometimes we often get to the point where we want things to happen when we want it to. We want things to come to fruition. We want things to come to pass when we desire it. But we have to realize is that when we want things to happen, the way we want things to happen and how we want things to happen, sometimes is not good, because what we want God to do in our lives is so much bigger and better than what we could ever imagine. And what we have to realize is that every time we get into a place where it seems like things aren't happening the way we want to, it seems like things aren't going the way we planned, we have to stop and take a moment and just pause and breathe and allow ourselves to have the situation come into fruition and come out the way we need it to. Because what we don't know is that every situation that we're in, every circumstance that we deal with, is all orchestrated and worked out for our purpose. Everything is orchestrated and worked out to benefit us. I understand that it hurts. I understand that you have pain. I understand that you've cried. I understand that you have agony. I understand that you're anxious and that you want to come out of the situation. But this is the moment where you realize that the anxiety that you feel, the pain that you feel, the frustration that you feel, the anger that you feel, the heartache that you feel is all part of a purpose. And it's all part of a plan. What we have to understand that we have to trust the purpose, trust the process, and trust the plan. Whenever you get in a place where it seems like the plan hasn't worked out, it seems like that you've dotted every I, you crossed every T, and it just isn't working out. There's still a process that you must follow. There's still steps that you have to take in order for you to get the outcome that you want. I mean, I know we've all had dreams, we've all had goals, we've all seen our lives playing out in a certain way. We've all seen ourselves living a certain lifestyle. We've had dreams and goals, achieving certain things that we wanted to achieve. But every now and again, life happens. Every now and again, reality sets in. Every now and again, things come into our life to make us and throw us off track. But what we tend to do is that when we get off track, we tend to find some type of way, some type of circumstance. We tend to find some type of to stay off track, and we don't allow ourselves to just look at the situation and work and allow ourselves to not only work the situation out or have the situation worked out, rather we don't allow ourselves and give ourselves time to be worked on in the situation. I'm gonna say it again. You have to allow yourself time, not only for the situation to work itself out, not only for God to work out your situation, but you have to have time for God to work you out in the situation. Because everything that we deal with, it has come to work on us. It's not come to hurt us, but it's come to make us better. Like Marvin Sapp said, it comes to make us wiser, it comes to make us stronger. And when we come out of this situation, we'll be better than we were when we once went in. But we have to allow God to orchestrate and work things out for our good. We have to allow God to orchestrate and work things out for us. We have to allow God to work things out in us. Because we tend to want things to happen when we desire it. But God doesn't work like that. God, yes, God is a God of he's a suddenly God. Yes, God is a God that works immediately. But every now and again, God knows exactly what we need, when we need it, and how often we need it. But we tend to get into our own mind. We tend to get into our own way, and we put ourselves in danger. We put ourselves in circumstances where God didn't even allow us to go into. God said, wait a minute, I didn't create that for you. Why would you create something else for you when I've already worked things out? Why would you create another problem when I've already figured it out? Why would you create another situation when I've already brought you out of one? And what we do is, when we create our own situation, tend to think and realize that the situation that we created, we have it all under control. We tend to think and realize the situation that we put ourselves in, we know how to work it out, because, hey, okay, I got myself in this mess, I can take myself out. But you didn't know that you got yourself in the mess that you didn't need to be in the first place. I'm gonna say it one more time. You got yourself in the mess that you did not know that you did not need to be in the first place. So we have to look and rely on God's, to look and rely on how he works. God works in mysterious ways, we know. God works in peculiar ways, we know. We'll never understand why God does what he does. We'll never fathom, we'll never come to grips and understand why it is that he maneuvers the way he maneuvers. We'll never understand why it is that he works things out the way he works things out. All we have to do is trust and believe in God's timing, and trust and believe that what God is doing, he's doing it well. And not only that, we have to trust and believe in God himself, because God does all things well. God does everything well. God works out everything for our good. God works out everything for our benefit. God works out everything on the strength of us to be able to pursue the goal that he wants us to pursue, to be able to pursue the dream that he wants us to pursue, to be able to pursue the increase that he wants us to pursue. But it's all about God's timing. Now, what we have to realize is that when you rush God's timing, you end up ruining the outcome. I'm going to say it again. When you rush the timing of God, when you rush what God is doing, when you rush what God is producing, when you rush what God is creating, you will ruin the outcome. That's right, Regina. You have to walk by faith and not by sight. We can't walk by what we see, because what we see is something good. What we see is something that seems to be beneficial. Is something that seems to be working out for us, but we don't realize that the thing that looks for us is not good, is not meant to be good for us. Sometimes the packages look real good on the outside. I mean, have you ever been into a place where you saw a nice package? I mean, you can think about your birthday and Christmas. Everything is wrapped up in a nice package. We have a nice bow on the outside. You don't know what's on the inside, but you know that whoever wrapped that package must put their all into it. And whatever they did, it made it look good on the outside. But every now and again, we get certain gifts that we don't want. Every now and again, we get certain gifts that we don't, that we feel like that's not good for us, because the package looks good on the outside, but the package on the inside might not be what you want. What am I saying? What I'm saying is this: is that every now and again, God creates certain things for us where things look good. Yeah, I know that car looks good. Yeah, I know that house looks good. Yeah, I know that job looks good because it has a good amount of money attached to it. Yeah, I know it may look good, but guess what? I come by to let you know tonight that every package that looks good is not meant for your good. So you have to take the time to allow God to orchestrate his timing, his blessing, his peace, his tranquility, his sovereignty, orchestrated to the point where he's preparing something for you. It's just like this. It's just like, have you ever been to a restaurant and you were and you seen the reviews and you seen how good the pictures look on Google? Yeah, I've done it. My wife does it too. We're notorious for a new restaurant that we've never been to. We are notorious for Googling the pictures and looking at it and see who ordered what and try to get an idea of what can we order that'll be a little different. I mean, because we may order the same thing. We order chicken, pasta, salmon. I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody tonight has ordered one of four things. You You've either ordered a steak, you've ordered a chicken, you've ordered some pasta, and you ordered some salmon. So we know that those 4 things are going to be on the menu. But every now and again, you like to look at the menu to see if it's something different. And every now and then, you like to look at the menu to see if it's something that you can relate to, something that is on your palate, something that would change your mind. But when we look at it, it looks good, and we hope that when we get it, it looks like that. But have you gone and ordered something and it did not look like the picture? I mean, I know I'm not the only one. How you going, David Burns from Cedar Hill, Texas? Welcome, brother. I'm not the only one that has come and that has seen commercials of McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell, and you see how perfect that burger look. You've seen how perfect that waffle look. You've seen how perfect those fries. Then when you get to the restaurant, those fries and those burgers don't look nothing like the picture. They don't look nothing like the commercial. They don't even look like what the picture says. And then when you bite into it, you see that you bit into something that it don't even taste like what it looked like. I mean, you look at it, you pull it out, and it's all mushed up. You ordered a double quarter pounder with cheese, but it looks like you only got 1 patty. And then you bite into it, and it don't taste like that. But then that's the same way that God works. God works in a way is that when things look good, things look like they should be in our lives, things look like they should be in our possession, things look like they should be with us. But then when we get that thing, it's not all it seemed. It's not all peaches and cream. It's not all what we thought it would be. And so we get to a place where we realize that the reason why that thing looked good, that thing may have been good for us. The reason why we thought that it was good for us, there it is. The reason why we thought that it was meant to be with us is because we rushed what God is doing. We rushed God's timing. God was orchestrating something tailor-made and specifically for you. God has orchestrated something tailor-made and specifically for your situation. He's orchestrated to the point where it fits right into what you're dealing with. But you, on the other hand, have gotten beside yourself and said, I can handle it right now because I'm tired of dealing with it. You got tired of dealing with that person. You got tired of dealing with those people. You got tired of dealing with that thing. And so you felt like that you can get yourself out of it, but God had to redirect you. And God had to let you know and remind you that, hey, it's not time yet. You have to suffer just a little while longer. You have to suffer just a little bit longer. You have to cry some more. You have to deal with heartache some more. You have to deal with low self-esteem some more. You have to be depressed just a little while longer, because if you stay in this thing just a little while, I got something on the other side that's for you. I got something on the other side that you're going to appreciate. I got something on the other side that you're going to cherish. All you have to do is trust my timing. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to deal with God's timing and what will happen. Stay tuned.
Hey, it's your girl, A Love. Make sure you follow me and Pastor PG, LaShonda Robinson, on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Girl Let's Talk. And let me tell you, it's not your typical church conversation. Make sure you join us on the WIN Network.
You see, we have to understand, like my sister Terry just said, that redirection is God's protection. Redirection is God protecting you from the thing that you thought was meant for you. God not only redirects you, but when he redirects you, he gives you a better way to look at it. He gives you another outlook on what you're dealing with. See, when you think about the GPS system, I think about the GPS system, and I think about whenever I'm going on the path, and whenever I don't know where I'm going in the first place. So I put the address in the GPS system, and then when I put it in there, I have to follow the instructions because it at the bottom of it, it tells me how many miles until I get to my destination. Not only that, but it'll give me the approximate time that I will arrive to my destination. And then when I look at my GPS and I'm following, and the next thing I know, I see traffic. Anybody that knows me, they know I can't stand to be in traffic. So When I'm in traffic, I'm like, man, which way can I go? And then all of a sudden, I hear my GPS say rerouting. And I'm like, okay, where are you taking me? So I follow my GPS. Now, mind you, now, we don't know who's behind the GPS. We don't even know who's talking to us, whose voice that is on that GPS. All we know is that the GPS is taking us somewhere else. The GPS is redirecting us. He's redirecting us to go to our destination. But the thing we have to understand, here it is, the thing we have to understand is that when it redirects us, we have to be willing and ready to follow the lead of the GPS. What are you saying? What I'm saying is that we have to be willing and ready to follow the direction that God is trying to take us. We have to be willing and ready to go the route that God is redirecting us to, because we don't know what lies ahead. We don't know what's in front of us. We don't know why there's traffic. We don't know why the roads are backed up. We don't know why we're being redirected. All we know is that we're being directed in another place. All we know is that we're being turned around to in another route. But the thing we have to understand is this the revelation I got from it, is that no matter how many times you get redirected, no matter how many times God reroutes your route, no matter how many times God takes you in another direction, no matter how long it may take you, because sometimes when you get redirected, the minutes change and the time frame change. No matter how many times and how long it's going to take you to get there, guess what? You still are going to get to your destination. What are you saying? What I'm saying to you tonight is this, my brother, my sister. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I want to reassure you and let you know that just because God is redirecting your situation, just because God is redirecting you in your situation, that does not mean that you're not going to meet the outcome that he has for you. It does not mean that you're not going to meet the breakthrough that he has for you. It does not mean that you're not going to get the blessing that he has for you. All it means that his delay is not a denial. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but you may have been delayed. It may have taken longer than expected. It may have taken you quite a while than expected. It may have taken you a while to get that degree. You may have flunked out of school. You may owe financial aid. It may have taken you a while to get a call back from that job. It may have taken you a while to hear back for the loan for that house. It may have taken you a while to hear back from the bank. But I want to let you know tonight that even though it has taken a while, that does not mean it's not denied. That does not mean that it's denied. It's just delayed, because God has something better in store for you. All you have to do is wait on his timing. All you have to do is wait on the Lord. And the Bible declares in Isaiah that they that wait upon the Lord, he shall renew their strength. They will mount up with wings as eagles. They will run and not get weary. In other words, you're not going to get tired if you keep running. All you got to do is keep your legs moving, and God will give you the strength that you need to keep going. God will give you the strength that you need to keep pushing. God will give you the strength that you need to go through every obstacle. Not only will he give you the strength, but he will give you the endurance, because you're going to get tired. You're going to get fatigued. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to go crazy. But as long as you keep your eyes on the prize, as long as you keep your eyes on the road and watch that GPS and watch the Lord navigate you left and right, to and fro, going to your destination. And when you get to that thing, you're going to give God the best glory, the best praise you can give him. Why? Because you knew how long it took. And you'll be able to declare to the devil and let the devil know, say, hey, this praise that I have, I paid for this. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but you need to put your down payment tonight on that you're going to walk in your future. You need to put your down payment tonight on the breakthrough that you're going to get in a few minutes. You need to put your down payment tonight on the blessing that you're going to get, because you paid for your praise. You paid for the praise that's going to come. You paid for the breakthrough that's going to come. You paid for everything that you're going to get. Why? Because you had to endure the heartache. You had to endure the frustration. You had to endure losing your mind. You had to endure crying all night long. You had to do them leave you had to do it, them turning their back on you. You had to endure it. And because you endured, God is going to bless you mightily. I don't know who I'm talking to, but because you endured, God is going to bless you mightily. Because you endured, because you went through it. Not only because you went through, but because you survived. Am I talking to any survivors tonight? If that's you, I need you to type into the comment section. I survived because I endured. I survived because I endured. I am able to say I am a survivor. Destiny Child had a song, I'm a survivor. That's right. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop because I'm going to work harder. I'm a survivor and I'm going to make it. I will survive because I'm going to keep on surviving. I'm going to keep on surviving because I'm not going to stop. You're going to keep on surviving because you are going to make it. You're going to keep on surviving because you are going to win. You're going to keep on surviving because you are going to succeed. You're going to succeed because you allowed the timing of God to bless you enough to where he was able to give you exactly what you want. You're going to survive. You're going to survive. You're going to survive. You see what thank you, Lord. The thing that just popped into my head, I just got another revelation, Terry. Here we go. I just got another revelation. I think about the process of baking a cake. Here it is. The process of baking a cake, right? I used to love watching my grandmother bake a cake. When we were kids, my cousins and I, we would fight over the spatula. We would fight over the bowl. We would fight over the mix. We would fight over because we wanted to get the batter because the batter was so good, right? And it used to trip me out. Now that I think about it, it used to trip me out when I would see all ingredients. Thank you, Lord. All these different ingredients go into one bowl. Here it is. So you have to have eggs. You have to have eggs for cake. You have to have so you put the cake mix in there, you put your sugar in there, you put your eggs in there, you crack your egg, you put your eggs in there, you put your milk, you put your butter, things, and whatever other ingredients you like to add, depending on the cake that you're baking. You put all those ingredients in there and see, and then you take the beater and you cut it on and you go around and you mix it all up. Right, and you see the flour. I mean, you see the egg batter, egg mix. You see the milk. You see everything in different colors. Thank you, God. Everything is different color. You know, the eggs are one color. The batter is another color. Everything is in different colors. But next thing you know, you see everything coming together. Everything coming together. And next thing you know, you see that everything, all these different colors have come together to make one color. To make one color, to make one major ingredient. And what I got from the revelation I got from that is that what God does with us, God takes certain things of our lives and put it in the bowl. He takes our heartache and drops it in the bowl. He takes our frustration and puts it in the bowl. He takes our low self-esteem and he throws it in the bowl. He takes the depression and throws it in the bowl. He takes backstabbing and throws it in the bowl. He takes hating and he throws it in the bowl. He takes a loss and he throws it in the bowl. He takes suffering, he throws it in the bowl. And then what God does is God mixes himself in that bowl, and he allows all the frustration, all the heartache, all the circumstances we've dealt with, anything you could. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I promise you this is for you. He mixes it all up into one big main ingredient. And then what he does, he takes the ingredient and he puts his finger in it and he tastes it. And he said, it tastes good, but it's not quite done yet. Yeah. I mixed it all up for a reason. And the reason I mixed it up because I'm preparing. There it is. I'm preparing something major. They don't know what it is. They don't know what I'm preparing. They don't know what I'm doing. They don't know how I'm working this out. They don't see me orchestrating the blessing. They don't see me. All they see is what I'm doing, but they don't know what the outcome is going to look like. All they see is what I'm mixing, but they don't know what's going to come out of this. All they see is what I'm putting my hands in, but they don't know what's going to come out of this. And what I'm coming here tonight to let you know is that you don't see God working it out. You don't see God with his hands in it. You don't see God doing what he always does. You don't see God mixing and mastering the blessing for you. All you see is that you cry. All you see is that you suffered. All you see is that you dealt with pain. All you see is that you dealt with loss. All you see is that you dealt with frustration. But God is working that thing out in a way that you can never understand. And then what God does, God takes that bowl and he puts it in another thing. What I like about it is that God takes that mixing bowl and he puts it in a container that's tailor-made. The tailor-made to fit the outcome of what he's creating. See, I don't know. My grandmother, she used to make these bundt cakes, and I love it. And there's a certain container. There's a certain container that's shaped like a bundt cake. It has little ridges on the inside, and what happens is all that stuff that was in that bowl, God pours it into that thing, and it takes the form. Thank you, Jesus. It takes the form of the container. God, in other words, God puts everything in that container, and what the container does, the container is only meant to fit inside that pan. It's only meant to fit inside that container because what he does, he puts just enough in there to where it doesn't overflow. He puts just enough in there to where it's not too little. It's perfect and it's just right. So then he puts it into that thing, and then what God does, he puts that thing into an oven. And he allows the oven to bake it. Now, what we have to understand, good God Almighty, in order for a cake, I don't know, I'm not a baker, I've just seen it done myself. In order for the cake to come out right, it has to be set at a certain temperature. It has to go through a process to be set at the right temperature, because if you set the temperature too high, the cake might cook fast and it might burn. There it is. There's God's timing again. If you set it up too high, the cake might cook real fast and it might burn. But if you set it up too low, the cake might cook slow, come out the way God intended it. What am I saying tonight? I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I need you to hear me clearly. God is letting you know tonight and reminding you tonight that what you're going through, God is setting you at the right perfect temperature. He's not going to make things too hot for you. He's not going to make things too cool for you. God is going to make things even keel and make it the right temperature for you. But you have to do one thing. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You have to go through the fire. There it is. You have to go through the fire. You have to take the heat. As the saying goes, if you can't take the heat, you need to get out of the kitchen. But I'm not talking to anybody that's leaving the kitchen. I'm talking to the people that's going to stay in the kitchen. I'm talking to the people that's going to stay in that oven. I'm talking to the people stay in the fire tonight, because you stayed in that fire, what's going to happen is God is going to make the mixture that he created. God is going to make it come out perfectly. And then not only must you endure the fire, not only must you endure being conformed to that container, but you have to be in there at a certain time frame. You have to be in there at a certain time limit, rather. And there's a time limit for everything. That's what I call God's timing. God's timing. He knows exactly what he's doing to start it, and he knows exactly when it's going to end. And I promise you this, when you're in the midst of God's timing, when you're in the midst of what God is doing, when you're in the middle of what God is creating, I promise you, every ingredient that God put in there, every frustration, every heartache, every ingredient that you've dealt with, every circumstance that you dealt with, guess what happened? It goes away. How do I know that it goes away? Because once he takes the cake out of the oven and you cut into it, it tastes so good. It's so moist, it's so succulent. And guess what? You don't even taste the egg. There it is. You don't taste the milk. There it is. You don't taste the cake mix. There it is. You don't taste the butter. You don't taste the sugar. You can't taste every single solitary ingredient, because God orchestrated that thing good enough. There it is, y'all. God orchestrated that enough to the point where you can't even taste what you went through. Good God Almighty, I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I've come to remind you and let you know that you don't look like, there it is, what you've been through. If that's you tonight, I need you to type in that little box in that comment section underneath and say, I don't look like what I've been through. I don't look like the heartache I've been through. I don't look like the suffering I've been through. I don't look like I've been crying all night long. I don't look like I've lost my mind. I don't look like they stabbed me in the back. I don't look like they don't love me anymore. I don't look like they don't care about me anymore, because I look great. How do I know I look great? Because God took his time and he orchestrated that thing, and he turned and molded the thing that was in me. He turned and molded my circumstance and made it come out and be perfect. And guess what? You don't even need no icing, because you taste just that good. That's how you know the cake tastes well, is that if you don't have to add icing to it and you can just bite into it, it'll change your whole life. I don't know about you, but my grandmama can bake a cake that like nobody else, and my mama can bake a cake like nobody else. And I know that when I bite into that cake, I know that cake is going to taste so good, because guess what? Every ingredient that was in that cake was meant for its purpose. Every ingredient had a purpose, and the purpose was for you to come out better than what you were when you went in. Whew. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but you're going to come out better than what you were when you went in. All you have to do, you don't rush God's timing, because when you rush God's timing, you ruin the outcome. Now, a lot of people are going to have something to say about you. They're going to have something to say to you, and they're going to talk about you. But guess what? They don't know what you've been through. And because you've been through the fire, because you've been through the mixing, you've been through the beating, there it is. You've been through the beating. God is going to make you look better than you did when you went before you went in. All you have to do is God's timing. Listen, that is my time for tonight. I appreciate every one of you for joining me. Please, 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 I want you to like, share, comment, all this stuff. Follow me on Instagram at Reactivate the Moment. Follow me on Twitter at @the_reactivate. Please subscribe to my YouTube page at Reactivate the Moment. And I promise you, you'll get more of things like this. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you next week, same time, same channel here on the Win Network. I'll see you next week. I love you. Have a great night. Peace.